Welcome to a podcast capturing the antics of two geeks who talk about video game culture and influence, both old and new, all through chaotic banter and tangential tangents that make no sense. My name is Mask.
This is not stalker behavior at all. Nope, nothing.
This is my pal Red.
God, he's a freak of nature, and I love him for it.
And together we make the Reddmasq Podcast.
And this is episode 14.
Yeah, should we just start talking about OpenRCT 2?
Oh, you really want to just jump into it with the Infinity Blade warm-up I left you there?
Oh God, do that first then.
This was something that Epic Games and Chair abandoned many, many years ago. 14 years ago, in fact. And now it's playable again. And, yeah, you have all the timelines. You could actually go through, the negative timeline. You have all the weapon upgrades and everything. That's from the original. They haven't done 2 and 3. Those are still going to take a lot of work. But you can play the original Infinity Blade again. Like it was never removed from the App Store. So this is one of those games that, is definitely a treat.
It was like the biggest iPhone game at the time. I remember this.
It was like Zelda for the iPhone, people called it.
It was huge. It was
more
was
a thing, but we're not going to talk about Oceanhorn, but
also, I was just gonna say fucking Growl Online again.
Yeah.
It was when I watched my friend play it. It looked more like Punch Out. The gameplay, at least.
You have
the gameplay is Punch Out.
You're basically just slashing, and you have slash combos that'll do a little more damage. You're parrying,
Dodge,
you're blocking,
counter.
You're dodging. You have to know the enemy's moves and figure out how they're going to move.
And then counter. It is Punch Out.
Yes.
The perspective is literally Punch Out too. You're right behind your character, and you swipe to dodge and shit. It's watching it. I guess that's why I never really got it. I was I watched it. I was like, this looks great and all, but I'm pretty sure this is just Punch Out, and I'm okay with that.
It's still tried and true gameplay, yeah. I mean, even the classic Punch-Out and the modern Wii remake are still great fun, and this game is still a lot of fun. It also has RPG elements.
Oh yeah, and all the spiritual games too, what is it, Big Boy Boxing, and that one game that you gifted me that I still haven't touched because
I forgot about that. Holy crap!
You gifted me Thunder Ray forever ago, and I have not touched it. Oh, it has DLC now.
What the fuck?
For new fights. Shit.
Damn, we gotta try that sometime.
This game is stylistic as hell. But I watched a video of the tutorial and intro. The tutorial is literally your main guy, Thunder Ray, is about to retire because he's fucking bored of how he's not being challenged by any of the people that are in the boxing shit. And then, so you get one last match against someone who's oh, he's retiring. This is my chance to show him I'm better than him. And then you just kick his ass. That's the tutorial because he's bad.
Wow.
And then Thunder Ray gets fucking shot by an alien ray gun because an alien was hiding in the audience. And he gets shot by the ray gun and teleported into an intergalactic competition.
Oh, wow. Have you ever heard of the unreleased sequel to Mike Tyson's Punch-Out?
What is it?
It's Mike Tyson's Intergalactic Power Punch. That's the title of it. They really went with that with the plot, didn't they?
Yeah, and Thunder Ray is black as hell, as far as I can tell.
So, I mean, yeah, there you go. There's your inspiration for that game's lore, I guess. But it's just Punch Out goodness at its core, I would imagine.
That's amazing that they went with the fucking canceled sequel. That's amazing.
That just came out of left field. I didn't even know, and I gave you the game.
Yeah, you bought me the game because he's I love Punch-Out, and he likes Punch-Out, and I haven't touched it because Punch-Out requires me to be in a focused state of mind, which I am never I'm never in that mode these days. But God, if I cannot appreciate the game, and I appreciate you buying it, because that means that supported them, and that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, supporting indie devs is super important.
Yeah, I'm okay.
You gotta support modders and indie devs. The best way to support modders is not talking about the games they mod if they're actual content that is copywritten and stuff. And so, please don't go after this person, Epic. Please, we beg you. Please, please, please.
God, if they do, I'm sure that'd be another shitstorm because it's you killed the game once and now you're killing it again for what? So you can keep pumping out more Fortnite and cancel Save the World. I'm still salty that they canceled Save the World.
Yeah,
that shit is just unfinished forever, and I hate it.
Really?
That was the game mode I liked.
Good thing nobody listens to us except you wonderful viewers. We love you.
I hope the wind they catch is a fart.
But yeah, like
Who
there was some
knows?
stuff that they fixed here in the patch notes that I find super interesting. Special effects relied on a specific iOS quirk to function, which means it didn't work on PC. The PC version has
Whoa.
fixed this issue, which added a separate SFX slider too. So like
Wow.
secret programming like workarounds that only worked on like iOS games. So like
That's neat.
it's like I don't know, some games like to use a timer in game, they use like a certain speed or something. There's something about the Super Mario Brothers timer. It's like something with like you can't keep actual time, so you have to draw the timer in from somewhere else. So that's
And to be
it's something
fair,
in code.
this was back when Epic Games was like didn't have the store. They didn't have Fortnite. What they had was like their legacy or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Epic Games had Unreal, the Unreal Engine. That's about it.
Yeah. Are you aware that they made shit like Jazz Jackrabbit?
I forgot. I forgot about that.
Oh my
Genuinely.
God. Well, that's the only reason I'm aware of it. It's because I sometimes I find tool-assisted speed runs of it online because it's a.
I love Jazz Jackrabbit 1. It's a classic.
Yeah, I never fucking touched this goddamn. I was never a PC gamer like that. Like I never played the old shit like this. That's not my name. That's not my name. That's a song that I don't remember much of.
The only song I haven't stuck in my head now is I whip my hair back and forth, and I have no idea why.
Pants on the ground.
Oh god, that is a fad. Harlem Shake. I'm just saying things to get your goat now.
Oppa Gangnam Style. Party rockers in the house tonight.
Everybody go and have a good time on. I can ruin Friday for you if you want.
Don't worry. Don't worry. At one of my workplaces, that was what they played every Friday in the office.
That's disgusting.
It's very stupid. Look, this is the workplace where when I first started, they were still using AOL Instant Messenger. So
good lord.
Also, I have a special story. Well, it's not really that special. It's pretty straightforward. I went to a goofy-ass game development summer camp, and the bonus thing we did was learn to dance Party Rock Anthem. I did not do a good job with that.
You got your dance moves on at your game programming summer camp. Something that is not a custom for me as well. I'm not a good dancer. I've got 2 left feet. Although they were on dance pads at one point. I did play rhythm games a little bit, dabbled, but like not really proper dancing.
I enjoyed DDR. The one we played, we owned Konamix for the PS1. And now I still own DDR Mario Mix, which is Oh,
that's sick, yeah.
That is a fun time in a very cringe way as well. Because like the story mode is just ridiculously stupid.
It's ludicrous.
It gets started by Waluigi. He's finally a villain, and it took DDR for it to happen.
I mean, with lanky legs like that, he's just gonna put the moves on you.
Oh yeah, it's a shame he's only the first boss.
Right.
And then you face Wario as like the third boss.
And like Bowser's the final boss, yeah.
Yeah, because like the way like the boss fights are kind of like the second boss I feel like is a blooper, like a giant ass blooper. Mm-hmm. The fourth boss, you melt a giant freezy. You have like a couple dance-offs. Like 2 of them are against different, like one's against a Lakitu, another's against the Hammer Bros. But the real kickers are when you're up against like Bowser and Waluigi and Wario, and it's just fun.
Yeah, and it's all Mario music remixes that they're playing.
Oh yeah, the remixes. There's the remixes of the various Mario songs and royalty-free music.
Yeah.
What's royalty-free? Classical stuff. And it's to be fair, some of that classical music was used as Mario music. Like they use a Beethoven, or I don't know, what's the song? The song in Mario Bros. When the round starts, goes da 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 da. That song. That is a classical song.
Yeah, they just
that whole song gets a remix as in DDR Mario Mix, and it starts with the obvious Mario Bros connection, and then it goes into the full song because it's like, fine, we'll just remix the whole damn song.
And then like the difficulty in terms of like other DDR games isn't really up there, but like you're still having a good time dancing through most of this stuff.
Yeah, it's like there's still some difficult songs. Like if you try and like the Bowser face off is like, the best way I can put it is like you're dancing to like the Bowser Castle theme from Mario Kart, from like Mario Kart. Like on the hardest difficulty, you are dancing to the notes, which is hard because it's like they're not on beat very much. They're like, it's like you're constantly off the beat because of how the notes work, and you're dancing in time to it. It's like, fuck, I can't keep up. But also, like, it's very limited. The engine it uses is like a modified Mario Party 5 or 6 engine, which gets used again for the Wii DDR games.
And it's so weird how they ended up doing that. Konami stealing code. Big fancy.
But like, you can easily tell because like the canned animations that the Mario characters do in the story, they come from Mario Party like 5 and 6. It's obvious because like, oh, there's the mini game 1 animation. But like the way it works is that because of the custom engine, there are no hold notes. It is all just quick steps. It's at my skill level, so I don't mind too much. But it's like,
it's not overly difficult for any non-seasoned rhythm game player. This is a good step into rhythm games, and boy, are there a lot of different types beyond DDR.
If you're the kind of asshole who plays DDR at the max difficulty and can do it without using an armbar, which is, that's its own fucking thing. You're gonna play this game and be like, why is it so fucking easy? And it's like, yeah, exactly. The bad news is that you can't. The story mode only goes up to very hard. You don't get to play the unlockable super hard difficulty on it. Anyways, that's enough. We have gone on a tangent.
I was gonna say that my programming camp when I was in school, it was not a summer camp. It was a proper class. They played Nyan Cat. That was our Fed song. And we've gone so far off that that's not even relevant anymore, so,
I mean, I remember how I talked about it. I'm like, thinking about Nyan Cat. I'm thinking about how much I fucking played that as a high schooler.
It really was the thing.
And wasn't that, like, the meme started by Nuzlocke? I think the person who made the meme was, like, someone who did, like, a Nuzlocke comic, too. I remember this guy. I'm trying to remember, like, why do I remember this man doing a Nuzlocke? Why is that in my brain?
Oh, he's got his 3DS right here with a kitty. So, you're probably not too far off. Every Nuzlocke comic ever.
Oh, maybe that's why I know it.
So he did a bunch of comics around Nuzlocks. These are super wholesome. Look at what I sent you. This might be it.
Maybe.
I have no clue.
Oh yeah, maybe this is it.
This art style reminds me of Being 5.
It's literally that, I think.
Yay.
Nuzlocke comics are never completed because that's kind of because like by the time you die, it's like, do I still care?
Reminds me of the Insider forum. There was someone on there that always made a Kirby comic every week. They just used the sprites from like Spriter Resource, and it was
Ooh,
a time,
a sprite comic. Man, this got real somber all of a sudden. Yeah. Let's change topics. Open RCT2.
No, not yet.
What?
We played Outfoxies last week. We owe the audience Outfoxies.
Oh shit, we did. Oh my god.
I got as every single character by Red's agent.
Now hold on. There's a story here.
Okay.
I was playing as the basic bitch, not John Doe. His name's John Smith.
Yep.
The character with the last name Doe belongs to Betty Doe. So it's just like very hilarious.
Yes. I won my first match, but in the next 6 in a row, I proceeded to lose.
Well, yeah, like I think what happened was like you kicked my ass a couple times because I was like learning the controls, figuring out how jank everything is as like it's a goofy ass arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
But once I finally picked up on everything, I used the knowledge of me watching other people play this fucking game to like just clean house.
You really did, yeah. You beat my ass a few good times.
I beat your ass multiple times, and because you used what I was not expecting was because you used every character against me, and I won. When you let the timer run out and the single player mode started, instead of just starting me at the beginning of single player mode like most fighting games would do, and it kept all those wins against you as wins against the other assassins. So I got to go straight to the final boss.
Because the plot of the single player, I didn't even know, was that you just kill all 6 assassins and then you go fight the final boss there.
Let me explain. 7 hitmen get hired by Mr. Acme,
Yeah.
Acme, to off 7 art collectors for his own, like, wealth and shit. But because he's a rich turd, a rich bastard, if you will, he doesn't want to pay any of the assassins. So he hires them to kill each other. So that's where you come in. You pick one of the 7 assassins to go up against the other 6, and each character has their own stage. So there's 7 stages, and we didn't see all of them. We missed it. We didn't get to see all of them because of RNG or whatever.
Right, unfortunately.
Because normally, if you're doing single player mode, you would go through the 6 stages of the characters you did not choose, and that means you would leave just your character stage behind.
We did get the mansion stage, though, and I got to throw a pie at your face. I missed.
Oh, yeah. My favorite stages are the ones that change as you're, like, the one that, like, a bomb goes off and the stage just starts falling apart around you as you continue fighting. That's like...
You just eventually fall, like, so far that you're in the trash compactor.
Yeah. God, that fucking stage was amazing.
Yeah.
But I think that's actually Adam Smith's stage, even.
Huh.
No, John Smith. God damn it, John Smith's stage. But anyways, to get back on track with the plot. So you choose one of the assassins to kill the other 6, and when you do that, Mr. Acme invites you over to his estate to pay you because you were getting payments for all the fucking killings you were doing. Mm-hmm. So you're there to take your payment, and it's a whole like boss stage because he's not going to pay you. Obviously,
right.
If he's killing everyone else, he doesn't want to pay any of you. So he's taking care of you himself.
So first you have to deal with the hounds. So there's 3 big dogs and then one little yippy dog that doesn't actually do anything.
Actually it does deal. I think it does deal some damage, but it's damage. Like the way it works is you enter the estate and you immediately get beset by attack dogs and a Pomeranian for some reason. And there's the chandelier in the opening area falls on you as a trap. Because of course, you can either punch out the dogs or you just run or roll past them and just get to the elevator, which was what I did because it's just like taking the time to fight them is health I could be saving to go up against the final boss.
Yes.
So then you go up the elevator and Mr. Acme you saw him run away and take the elevator up to run away from you, and he's like this thin boy in a suit. He looks like a typical bullshit asshole, and now he's behind a bunch of crates. This is where I basically took my first game over, was because I couldn't figure. I did not realize
so poorly implemented how you can actually just pick up and throw the crates in midair.
You have to do them a specific way. What I did not realize when I watched someone else play it was that they walked up the first 3 boxes so that they could just toss the top row. I did not catch that as a thing I could do, so I did something really dumb that wasted time. And the first time wasted a bunch of health because I was too busy trying to pick up boxes the game is not programmed to let you pick up. So he's like, and the trap is he's constantly letting water loose to knock you into the tank in the background with sharks and piranha in it.
And like as you break more boxes, more sharks and things
it gets more deadly. Yeah. But once you get past the boxes, he runs away and goes to his office. So in the hallway to his office is again a bunch of lanterns are on the ceiling. They fall and set the floor on fire, which is a pain in the ass to get past. So the way you do it is you're supposed to run through them all. And then you get to his office, and the twist is that the person who was running the whole damn thing was actually his wife.
Bum, bum, bum.
So he's hiding behind the desk with his wife, and she's on the comms with the silhouette, and she's like, "Welcome. My name is Mrs. Acme." And then so she's still using the voice changer. And then she says, as promised, we will pay you right now. The voice changer stops and it becomes her actual voice. And then the lights go off. She fires a gun at you, and then they start escaping.
And grenades go off left, right, and center.
Oh yeah.
And
so grenades Yeah, the grenades, like they're escaping into the floor. They take their chair elevator down. So there's grenades spawning. You need to avoid them, but you need 3 grenades to blow up the floor so you can get down there, which is not that hard actually. I think both times all 3 grenades blew up the thing without hitting me. It was really easy. But then you have to fall down the elevator shaft and hope you don't hit any of the currents that are going around, which it's that's just a way to take a cheap shot. It doesn't do much. You're already on the floor by that point.
Oh, and there's a timer the whole time, so the whole place is set to blow.
Yeah, well, every stage has a 200-second timer. But so this stage is no different. And so now and then you get down to the next section. They're on the Acmes are on a hill and tossing grenades down at you. And your next goal is to pick up one of the grenades before it blows up and toss it at them. So it knocks them off with good timing. Basically, you hit them at the explosion, which knocks them off, and then that will lead them to take another elevator to the roof, and you'll give chase. Taking the elevator, they get in a helicopter and start tossing grenades and boxes down. You pick up an infinite rocket launcher to fire up at them.
Yep. They're trying to get away, and you have to chase them down with your rockets. And it's actually a pretty cool end sequence there. That is, it's probably one of the crowning moments of that game, honestly.
And they're not really trying to get away. They're trying to kill you still, because if they get away, they know you will follow them. So they're still trying to kill you. Like they're just this is just the last phase. So hit their helicopter with enough rockets, and then the thing will start crashing. Mr. Acme will fall down. He takes the first health bar, because each round you have 3 health bars, green, yellow, red. So Mr. Acme falls back down to the roof. He takes 1 health bar of damage, gets back up. His wife falls on him. He gets knocked down to magic pixel health. And then the helicopter falls on them both, and you win.
Death, and it's fantastical.
It's a fucking fantastic cutscene death. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Just Acme falls, gets up. Mrs. Acme falls on him. They also get up. Helicopter crashes into both of them. They're fucking dead.
I wonder if this is a nice 5-minute speed game as a result of the fact that you can just 2-player use every character and then just off yourself with each character.
I mean, that'd be like a tool. Well, I don't think that'd be accepted as a TAS because that's boring.
Well,
that'd be
but no, it's still quick.
That'd be a vault. What I mean is TASs have other stipulations like entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
And so typically if a run with tool assisted speed runs, when you do a run as fast as possible, but it's boring as a result, it gets put in the vault category where it's you were obscenely fast, but it's boring to watch. So it's cool. This is neat. That's it. So they're kind of sticklers like that.
I know I watched videos.org.
I watched a Mortal Kombat video that was on the vault category because every round was just triple kick spam to win the round in 2 seconds.
Hoorah.
You can imagine how boring that gets, but it's really funny to watch the first time.
There are actual get to the end as fast as possible, any means necessary games that are nice like that, or just boring. And then there's just the entertaining stuff like Brain Age runs.
Oh yeah, where it's just them it's just a play around.
It's just play around, fuck around, find out.
It's a play around. Mostly to show off art that people are making. Without Foxy's, I feel like they would require that would have to be its own category, playing 2-player mode to skip everything.
Potentially.
Because the actual gameplay, you're supposed to do the arcade mode and just off the other CPUs rather than not do that.
It's one of those discussions where what does any percent truly mean? Is it literally the fastest possible, or is it the fastest possible with some other restrictions?
I'm sure it'd be any percent.
Or is it
any percent 2-player. Any percent 2-player abuse would probably be what it's called.
Right, something like that.
If it was up to me. If it was up to me, that's what it'd be called.
Mm-hmm.
It was a fucking awesome time to play. I'm happy we did it, and I eventually picked up the goddamn controls to finally be able to kick your ass and take that to the bank.
Pretty good, yeah. I mean, I'm usually good at fighting games, but this is a really... I'm not going to call it Kusoge because it's well put together, but darn are these controls stiff.
As TV tropes put it, it's one of those. It's a platform fighter before platform fighters were even really a concept.
Right.
Before Smash took this scene and was platform fighters are now this. This is very obviously the very start of this shit, and it's got that feel to it. But it's hella fun to play.
Indeed.
If someone who's never played fighting games plays Street Fighter 2 today, they're gonna feel it for sure. But it's that you can tell all the building blocks are there, and there's still a really good game there too. Super Street Fighter 2 is still one of the classics of all time, and it's gonna be there for all time at this point.
Oh yeah,
it's never gonna stop.
If they're good enough, can turn that into chess. Very much so.
Oh yeah, it is a game for old heads, if you will.
as so far as top echelon cream of the crop play goes, people can still fuck around with Street Fighter 2 and have a lot of fun nevertheless. I did when I first got my Super Nintendo when I was 13 and got a copy of just Super Street Fighter 2 without Turbo. It was just fun, This episode is brought to you by us. We work hard in making an exciting show each week, chaos included. Check out the links in the show notes for ways to help support the show. This includes our coffee page, which you can find at ko-fi.com/mask31.
But yeah. So, are we finally able to talk about Open Roller Coaster Tycoon 2?
Yes, we are now at the point we can now talk about OpenRCT 2 and our little playthrough, because we made a little what do you call it? Attraction, amusement park. It wasn't a scenario, so it's technically not like fully off the rails, but like
no, that's Thrillville.
Yeah.
Thrillville Off the Rails is the second game.
Oh my god, I didn't even mean to make
I was making a pun! I
didn't even mean to!
Anyways, let me give this back in. We did Forest Frontiers. We played for like an in-game year, which is like an hour, I feel like, I want to say. But in OpenRCT 2, it allows you to play. It adds a lot of features.
Yep, it adds quite a few online features, quality of life, graphical enhancements for like modern computers and such.
Yeah, it's just a whole. I'd recommend it. If you want to play Roller Coaster 1 or 2, I would recommend you get both and play it on OpenRCT 2. Honestly, because the games are cheap, as far as I'm aware. They're still cheap because they're fucking 90s art. They're 90s computer games.
I mean,
man.
It's kind of like just SimCity engine sort of stuff, and it's just like a open sandbox for that. It's like Sims City, but it's like just no punishment or penalty or need to upkeep anything. It's just an amusement park.
Well, there are mechanics that you're not aware of, but that's when you get deeper, because you have to because every ride you build has upkeep to maintain it, so it has running costs.
Right, because this is a multiplayer also supported it's not an incremental game, it's a simulator game. It is
what got me hooked on incremental games.
It is something you made me personally try, and I found very strange.
So OpenRCT 2 has the multiplayer option. So he and I played Forest Frontiers because we both had Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 as well to import the scenarios and stuff from. So we played Forest Frontiers because if I'm playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, I'm always opening up by playing Forest Frontiers because that shit is a great tutorial or whatever. But you and your hubris, since you had never played, you had a lot of difficulty. Like, you did not even
along the way.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of questions that you learn. Typically, there's actually like a tutorial you can play that covers a couple of things.
Right, we skipped that.
But yeah, because we just got right into it. I had no idea how little you understood because you were building things and then not placing entrances and exits.
I forgot about the entrances and exits. I also didn't know how to open places.
Yeah, the green light. Within all of your hubris, the only thing that I had to I'm really going to give you a lot of shit for is when you tried to build a swinging ship with a moat.
I want to build the moat. It deserves a moat. It's a Viking ship, you know?
I know it's cool and it's neat to do that, and I'm sure I would do the same if I wanted to. You don't have this. You needed to learn 5 more mechanics to understand how to do that. I want to build the moat.
I really want to build the moat.
You wanted to build. He was like, how do I normally what I would do is I would build the swinging ship on the ground and then I would dig out around it and then raise the water, right?
Mm-hmm.
Instead of what you tried to do, which was raise the ship with which is why you asked me how do I change the height? You hold down shift. And then you were raising the water level at first, and I had to stop you there because I was like, you don't understand how much money this shit costs.
I don't, because the in-game economics do not apply to my level of knowledge at that point.
Yeah, doing landscaping with changing the height of the land and making water. That is the most expensive thing you can do aside from building a giant roller coaster.
Amazing. And
at least building a roller coaster directly starts helping your revenue stream. That was the only thing I ever felt I need to stop this man before it gets worse. Because I was just seeing it. I was seeing the mistakes. I was seeing the money drain. I was like, you need to stop.
I would drain your bank account for a moat.
No. No, you wouldn't, because I drained our bank account by hiring 1,000 entertainers at the very end.
In various costumes. You hired a whole furry convention. How does it feel?
Hell yeah. Well, it's a mascot convention because mascots are when you're paid to be in the suit. Right. Furries are when you do it as a hobby.
It's like sport versus fun. It's like podcasting versus podcasting. Oh wait.
Okay, this is what I call podcasting.
That's what I call shitposting.
pod race. Anyways, so we cleared Forest Frontiers with ease because it's literally the first fucking scenario in the entire series. It's the easiest damn thing in the world. You need 250 guests by the end of the first year. It's easy. It's stupid easy. I handled most of it while I did taught you how to do things.
I was like looking at like the actual participants' like thoughts and comments as we were like building here. That's like I'm not hungry was the most pronounced one, and I still don't get it, but like.
So that thought means they like ran into a food stall when they weren't hungry. It's just
I don't get it.
It is the most useless thing.
Exactly.
It's like people aren't hungry right now. It's like great. Let me know when they are hungry.
Yeah,
I'd prefer that.
Right.
I prefer
the data needs to. I'd prefer it
if you told me
and something useful.
Yeah, it's like it's basically just telling you like no one's been in the park long enough to get hungry enough to eat something. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Like there are some actual like good thoughts where it's like, oh, this ride is a very good value. That is your tip to start charging more.
Yep.
Start charging more for your rides because they clearly will gladly pay more.
Give me
stuff like that. That's like why you're using the thoughts. And like you'll see stuff like, oh, you'll see if there's like a God, I'm burping now. If you see a bunch of guests saying like, oh, I need to use the restroom. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, I'm tired. You can see where they are. And then build like, oh, maybe that place needs more restrooms. Maybe that place needs a food stall. Maybe I need to build more benches everywhere.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Oh, I didn't even build a single bench. I didn't see you were doing that.
Yeah, I was doing most of that. And there's actually...
You're literally benching my weight here.
Yeah, and trash can. I was putting you in the trash can,
Fucking
too.
hell.
I was building lots of those. But something that OpenRCT2 supports is like mods. And some of the mods that I remember, like someone I watch on YouTube called Marcel Voss, who is he's a great roller coaster tycoon YouTuber. He does a lot of like he reviews various rides, talks about their pros and cons. He hates the space rings, understandably, because he goes over it. It's like, yeah, this thing sucks ass. He does a lot of roller coaster tycoon content. It's really fun to watch.
Neat.
And that's where I learned most of the deeper mechanics. And also, he talked about the mods he uses, and one of them is like a mod that automatically alternates benches and trash cans on your paths, because that's the most. Those are the only useful path decorations. The lights don't do shit. You would use that to ease the monotony or the tedium of building those things yourself. Right. There's also a mod to automatically set the prices of your rides to the most optimal. And there's even like a thing you can put in where it's like, oh, I want it to be, if I use this, I want it to like cost me, I don't want it to be inefficient because this is too easy. Like, oh, so like if I use it, it's like, oh, take 20% off the top so I don't get that money.
Right, so you don't have to make the adjustment yourself. Just the economy checker does it for you.
Yeah, it does it for you, and because it's tedious, and if you want to punish yourself for make it cost something because it's so good, you can make it cost something. It's pretty neat.
Now,
stuff like that.
Yeah, you can use these to make things a more customized experience, but there's also something that you use that made me curious. Why hotkeys? What does that kind of benefit for like triple click and things like that?
Oh, mouse keys?
Wait, is that literally it? You're just using the built-in Windows mouse keys?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because 5 is a single click, plus is a double click.
Huh.
I learned to use this with incremental games. To bring it back around to the incremental game thing, I used that shit for like Cookie Clicker for years. Wow. Before I just switched over to a regular ass like a auto clicker. I still have it enabled at all times. It's so useful.
I have power toys for my actual work on my computers, but like I've never heard of someone using like sticky keys, filter keys, and mouse keys in this case for just proper accessibility. Well done.
Yeah. So hang on, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up something fun. One of the deeper mechanics of Roller Coaster Tycoon. I'm going to give this to you. I'm going to link this to you. What this is the ride price calculator.
ScottySteve.com. I have like 5 different calculators for some of my classes right now for stuff like CPI, which is not click per index. It is for like megahertz processors and things like that. And someone has already got the formulas plugged in.
Yeah. So imagine I'm building a wooden roller coaster.
Anyway.
So each of these stats, is that you can put are influence the price, right? If you're if you're charging entry for the park as well as the rides, it'll reduce both to let you do both. There's also like same type in park. So like if you build 2 wooden roller coasters, it will reduce the price of all of them. But like if you're building multiple and they're good enough, then it doesn't matter. So if I have like 6 excitement, like set like 6 excitement, 7 intensity, 3 nausea, I guess would be some decent stats for a wooden coaster. Look at the prices.
I'm just looking at how you charge entry for a park, and everything gets cut in half.
Oh yeah. Oh, it gets worse if you look at the Open RCT2 prices, because they do balancing with Open RCT2 to make it more in line with a proper game mechanic. Right. If you look at the Open RCT2 price for charging entry, it gets cut by like to 20%, I think.
Yeah, it's like 3/4 or more. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's like by to like almost a fourth.
Huh.
It's ridiculous. And if you build the same price, it like reduces the cost as well. This shit gets deep. And this is why there's so many like mods to make the more tedious shit less tedious.
You know what? The only thing I have to compare this to is Minecraft at this point, because like all of the things that you can do in just a game that is flexible enough to have this sort of like participation and credit and things like that, it's just like immense. It is the gameplay itself becomes something else to you, and like this is the number game you play. This is entertaining in and of itself when you have access to the tools. Yeah, I can see it.
And the best part is for like the entire, if you just play the game casually and never touch these deeper mechanics, you can just win. Like these are all things you can do to efficientize the hell out of it. You don't even have to touch this shit to beat the game. It's insane.
It's a numbers game.
Also, I'd also like to call attention to something. Note the ride age on the left side there. So typically, the older it gets, the less you can charge, right? But there is at the very end, once you get past 200 months of ride age, the price goes back up to what it was at like 88 months or younger.
Is that a bug?
It's like no. I think the idea behind that is that the ride is now a classic. It is a staple of your park. Since it's a staple of your park, it just becomes it's like imagine the Beast at Kings Island. The Beast is an old fucking ride at this point. But it's still like, you go to Kings Island, and if you're going to ride roller coasters, you're going to ride the Beast to experience it. Because it is a mainstay of Kings Island. It is a staple. That thing exists as like a monument in Kings Island. Because it's been there the whole damn time. That's like what that 200 months age is supposed to be for. So unfortunately, that's like playing the game for over 24 hours IRL.
And that's essentially just like 17 years in real time. So it's like historical landmark sort of thing when it comes to just like park upkeep and things like that. It's impossible to keep a ride going for that long, but like some of the oldest like wood roller coasters that are famous around like the United States, like they still charge for admissions and things like that. Yeah,
if you're playing roller coaster, the trick there is if you're playing Roller Coaster Tycoon, you have a ride that's around for over 200 months without updating it, without like rebuilding it or refurbishing it, you're making a mistake. Like that's not good play. That's bad play. But at the same time, the fact that that's even in the game is like incredible.
That's an interesting mechanic for sure.
So the thing about Roller Coaster Tycoon years, it only goes from March to October. Because like, why would a theme park be open during the winter? You know?
Right.
So March to October, how many years would that? That's 8 months, right? So it's 8 months to a year for Roller Coaster Tycoon. So that's 25 years. That's literally you playing for literally 24 hours in that one park. So you're basically never going to experience that mechanic, but it exists. It exists. You're never going to see it. To tie this into tech, guess how Roller Coaster Tycoon was programmed?
Does it use any of the Maxis code? Or is it like its own little thing?
I'm gonna get close to the mic here for a second to really emphasize this. It's assembly language.
Yeah, ASM, that makes sense.
Chris Sawyer programmed Roller Coaster Tycoon entirely in assembly.
Oh, this is completely separate from Maxis. Holy crap. This thing can run on anything.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
I touched assembly like once in my life, and that was enough to just make me go, all right, I'm out of here.
I bet did he build a tool to actually like put instructions in places? I would assume that's just easier to actually do than just doing that all by hand, because holy shit.
I'm sure you would have to find something that talks about that, because I've never been able to find that shit.
They rewrote it.
That's something you can...
Yeah, they rewrote it in C++ after 2014, it looks like. I thought you would bring up some of the names we were tagging things with, like mask. I'm forgetting how to rotate things.
Oh yeah.
And we named the
shit! I'll do that really.
And the Reddmasq Podcast with a Q. Like I should have fucking made it.
That's my favorite part about playing OpenRCT2 with other people, is that at the very end it always devolves into us naming shit to grill each other. I did that with my other friend too.
Just a roasting contest.
I just start naming. I'd name a toilet after him, and then he would subsequently name all the other toilet stuff that I like.
The bathroom is a skill issue. What are you talking about?
The bathroom is a skill issue. The crashing coaster is called My Love Life. Who fucking knows what's happening?
Oh my god, yeah, you literally built a death machine in RCT2.
Hey, it's not a death machine if nobody's riding it.
People do get hurt on it. Because it hurts the people on the rides.
If people rode it, it would have been a death machine, but I made sure nobody was riding it. I just rained the cars onto the people.
Shrapnel, and they're expecting it to be okay?
Look. Yes, that's okay, because the guests are impervious. Dude, the guests are impervious unless you put them in water and watch them drown, or have them on the train when it explodes.
I wanted to build the moat, and you didn't want me to build the moat, and just
because you don't know what you're doing. You didn't know anything. We didn't have the money. We did not have the capital. You did not have the skills. And we don't talk about Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 because that's like a whole other game at this point.
It kind of is.
It's a fine game. It's a fine game, but it's really not classic RCT.
It really isn't.
So
it's the one I played at my friend's house one time. There's a bunch of other PC games I can talk about playing at his house because memories, but let's save that for another time because we had a lot of those today.
Oh. I'll say one thing about Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. I hate how unoptimized the lighting is.
It has that early 2000s sort of 3D thing going on.
The moment it becomes nighttime and the lights shoot on, your performance is going to drop. Your FPS is going to drop by a tenth.
Oh god.
To a tenth. You're at 60 FPS. Now the game's in 6 FPS.
Oh no.
Because it is nighttime, bitch, and then we don't have good lighting mechanics.